The Boston Bruins had a lot of quality players from the OHL they drafted in the 1970s, and this was one of them. Although he couldn't find a permanent spot with the Bruins, Steve Langdon was a great prospect, mostly with London of the OMJHL. Now, born in Toronto, grew up in the Mississauga region, 5'11", 175, strong left winger. Broke in with Toronto of the OMJHL in 72 with 4 points in 14 games. But with London, the 73 campaign, he had 78 points in 72 games. Now, ironically, he was part of one of the biggest trades of that era when he was traded with Steve Baruch and Larry Goodenough to Toronto, by Toronto to London, in exchange for the great Mark Howe in August of 72. He debuted in the NHL April 3rd, 1977, wearing number 26. Played 4 playoff games for the Bruins in 76, 7 games over 3 seasons, 3 regular seasons with Boston. Now, he played 2 regular seasons for a Boston team that went on to the finals in 78, but was not with the team during the postseason. Now, he coached youth and development hockey in Rochester after retirement, including a stint with a local NAHL team. He's also the father of major junior player Mark Langdon. Now, looking at his rough stats, 71, he played with the Marken Waxers of the MTJHL. 72, he split time between the Waxers and the Marlborough. Again, that strong draft year. 74 in the minors, his first campaign, he had 21 goals in 67 games with the Albuquerque Sixguns. 75, he split time between Rochester, where he had 19 points in 56 games, and 1 game with Boston with 1 assist in 75. He also played with the Broom Dusters, where he had a hat trick and the assist in 1 game. 76, he played 4 games with Boston in the regular season, 4 in the playoffs, with 21 points in the Americans' regular season, 18 goals with 1 assist in 5 playoff contests. He also played with the Broom Dusters that year with 1 assist in 2 games. 77, played the whole campaign with Rochester with 31 points in 43 games, including 16 goals. 78, his best season in Rochester, 57 points in the regular season, 4 points in the postseason with 2 games with Boston. Last season with Rochester, 48 points in 80 games, including 25 goals. His AHL totals were tremendous, ladies and gentlemen, and that's why a lot of people thought he might have found a spot in the WHA, but it never panned out. In the AHL, he had 97 goals, 184 points in 313 games. A very gentlemanly player, only had 37 minutes in penalties over those campaign, and 14 points in 35 playoff contests. NHL, 11 total games, 1 assist. But it's a type of thing with Boston that were so tight, especially in that 78 season. It'd be hard, like a good scorer like Langdon, to really make a long-time impression. But you got to understand, nobody was going to break in to the 4-line aspect of that 78 team. I think Langdon could have been a great player in Europe, but a very solid player nonetheless. But the idea is, ladies and gentlemen, by the time he was 26, 25, 26, his NHL career was pretty well, that's it. And he retired in 1979. But like I said, for the years he played minor pro and pro, a very dedicated player, very well liked. He was also profiled on Nesson on his first call-up and saying, this could be a future star with Boston. But like I said, it didn't play out, but there was no room at the end. Like I said, Steve was caught in the numbers game. A lot of good players with Boston at the time, and don't forget, they're getting more of a European influence. So Steve Langdon, part of Boston era that a lot of people feel it's the best overall of the last, post-Orr era. And let me tell you something, he could play. But that big trade for Mark Howe, like I said, that made headlines in the hockey news because a lot of people believe Mark Howe was going to be headed to the NHL, and that's what he set it up, and he decided to play, with his father with the Houston Aeros. Thanks for listening. Bye.